Hi, thank you everyone for coming to our San Francisco Bay Area Tableau user group. And thank you so much to Mapbox for once again hosting. Yay, thank you. Woo! I'm Anya, I'm the person with the annoying emails, and I'm gonna talk for like 2 seconds just to have my shameless plug. We need presenters, we need places to speak. So if you wanna have more events like this and you wanna help throw one, please tell me, it'd be awesome. We have a great night tonight of crazy town stuff with 2 Zen Masters, Tamas Foldi, who is here from all the way from Hungary live. It's Tamas! Woo! He is pretty amazing. He's going to rock us with the Tableau Extensions API. And then in the back, we have Allan Walker, who's going to be showing off some pretty insane Mapbox fantasticness. So without further ado, I will let Zen Master Tamas Foldi begin the show.
Hey. All right. So, welcome everyone. I'm Tamas Foldi, actually. So, who I am. Usually, I introduce myself that I'm a white hat hacker who is concentrating on extending the capabilities of Tableau. So we always try to hack new features in it, expand its capabilities. But the real thing that I was really like a white hat hacker. So when I prepare, I heard that in States here, every presentation should start with something personal. Here in Hungary, we don't really care about each other. We concentrate on the content. But here I try to, adapt and show something personal. So why I'm a white hat hacker? This newspaper clip is from actually 2001, and it's the same week as this meetup. And it was my first company. Used to then, we called it like a startup. And this guy had the money. He was another hacker, and I was also a hacker. And what we do, we just hack into Fortune 500 companies, and we made tons of money. Unfortunately, the way how we did it is during the day, we did it for paid work, and at the night, that wasn't really wide. So I get caught by the police, and I just changed from the security word to the data word. So that's who I am. I still have the mentality, but actually I'm doing only things for the common good, because that's what the court told me to do. So also I'm the pizza sponsor today, very important. And at the company I'm working at Starschema, I'm usually sometimes say I'm a CTO. I'm actually a CEO, but that's, everyone is CTO. So it's CTO, it has more, I don't know, it sounds better, I would say. So usually I'm saying I'm a CTO. And a white hat hacker, actually. So a couple of things. I'm really working on a server side and extension side. So I'm definitely not the one who can build very beautiful things. So most of the time, what you will see will be pretty ugly, sometimes some super source stairs, but no fancy stuff, unfortunately. So I would like to speak about two Tableau features which have huge potentials. And many people are not really using that, and also many people don't even know that these features exist in the Tableau world. So Tableau External Services is the most underused feature in Tableau, even if it's pretty cool. Basically, what it can do is you can build calculations in R. I hate R, but some people like it. So it could be great. MATLAB, it's for smart guys, not me. But Python, actually, that's And it's really cool because things what you cannot make in Tableau, you can do it Python, and it's seamlessly integrated into the Tableau desktop application. The main purpose of this Python integration and the R integration that you can do some data science, data analysis directly in the Tableau. You don't have to go to do it in another analytics tool. You can do it directly in the applications. So the way how it looks like, you have a nice a dashboard, a visualization, and you can just put this Python code as a calculation, and you can do clustering, you can do regression, relatively boring stuff, which is part of your probably your daily work process. Let me just quickly show how this stuff works. I also prepared a dashboard with Mapbox maps because I heard that's cool here at this look. So let me start. Nice Tableau desktop. And just open this dashboard. It also tells me that it wants to execute some Python script. So Python script can be unsecure. It's like having a custom SQL. And after I configure here the server, I will explain what's this external service. This is the service which will execute my Python code. We should see the contents of the dashboard. So this is where my server is located. And if I'm lucky, I do, I have my relatively boring map. And what I can do here is control my analysis with two parameters. The first tells me that what should be the radius in feet of clustering the collisions, and how many collisions should be printed or filtered in the dashboard. So I can say that show me every hotspot in New York where in 100 feet distance we had at least 2 collisions. And I can also increase this number, and hopefully the dots disappear. So this is how it works, and also it should work in the same way if I just reduce the radius. So this is very basic, but if you try to do this with normal Tableau calculations, it will take some time until you just calculate everything. So how this really looks behind the curtains? It has one single calculation, and this one calculation has actually 4 lines of code. It imports a Python package, and we pass the number of collisions, the distance between collisions in feet, and the coordinates of each point. And based on that, we can give back a yes and no flag. So we do the clustering directly in Tableau, and it's a relatively easy way to add analysis and calculations which are hard to do in Tableau. And that's, using the power of the community. I'm a huge fan of Stack Overflow, so 90% of my work is done by copy-pasting stuff from there, just like this. So it can really help you to get things done faster. So this is cool, but doing calculations, it's so yesterday. So let's use this for something else. So as long as you can execute Python, you can call, not just execute calculations, but you can do any kind of programming. You can call web services, for instance. So this is how the architecture looks. So you have a nice Tableau server, or not that nice Tableau server, or a Tableau desktop. It goes to a so-called TabPy server. That's Tableau's Python service where you can deploy your code, and it will execute your Python code, and it could communicate with external services and take the data, pass it back, so you can build live connections from web services without anything, any hurdles. So let me show like a very easy example for this. how you can use live web service data to enrich contents of your dashboard. Don't save. So why did it forget? I don't know. So let's add again this top by server location. And this is a standard Tableau sample report. It's so, I'm lazy. The only thing what I added is this very nice drop-down chart where I can change the currency of the dashboard. So if I say I'm not really interested in euro, I want to see it in USD, then then I will tell you why. Because every data is in USD and it cannot convert USD to USD. So if I change this thing like the Hungarian forint, it will call a web service, retrieve the currency calculation, and calculate it on the fly. And since it's using a web service, I steal it from the internet. Probably if I just go here and add some additional currency, it will work out of the box without getting the data, without building extracts. It just takes it. So let's add here the Indian rupee. Why? Because that's the only currency what I know out of my head. All the others are listed. So if I change it here, it will go to this Python service and recalculates everything. So we don't need to store the data. We go out and from based on a web service, we just move it back. So the way how it works, it's pretty easy. That's the only slide where I have source code. I hate source codes in presentations. So this is the stuff that I found on the internet and can do currency conversions. I tell that convert from USD. Get the rate from USD to the target currency and just return back with the value. So why is it so cool? Because that's a very nice way to add live data, real-time data to your dashboards without too much development. I love it. So let's see some more advanced example. I hate many things because I'm Eastern European. I'm fully with hate. So I hate two things. First is the word count example on big data platforms. The second is Twitter sentiment analysis. So these are the two most boring examples. So I picked the Twitter sentiment analysis. And show how you can get like a full data set from Twitter, do live analysis without actually having any data in Tableau. Let me just quickly close this. And the famous Twitter test dark 5 copy dashboard. Let me just add it again, my server, which is the same. And what my dashboard does, I can add here a search term, and when I'm changing the search term or changing anything in the dashboard, it will go to the Twitter using the Twitter API, retrieve the latest tweets, and calculate a sentiment analysis. That's why it's so slow, because it communicates the internet. Even if Twitter is relatively close to this location, it still takes time. So these are the most popular tweets for Bitcoin. You can see that there are people who are happy, there are people who are not. And if I can change to anything, let's say to Houston weather. I was in Houston yesterday, the weather was crap. So let's see what people are talking about the Houston weather. And when I change the search term, it again goes to Twitter, gets the latest 1000 tweet because that was it. It was set it up and calculate a sentiment analysis and show it in the dashboard. So it's cool because it's live, it's dynamic, and you don't need to store in anything in databases or extract. And if I check what's the data behind this dashboard, well, it has only 2 rows in it, using some fancy technique to generate rows I learned from you guys. What's the name for this technique? It's densification, yeah. Yeah, so geometers, fancy, but yeah. I learned from Chris, actually. Yeah, so it's from the Martini. So what we do here, we have only 2 rows in the workbook. We generate with this densification whatever additional rows, and from each rows we get a tweet using the external service. I will share everything here. I just want to throw you as much use case as possible to start some conversation after a while, because I can kill the party with the source code for sure. So I really like to concentrate on the use cases and show like what is really possible if you're using these APIs. So I think this is cool. What are the pros? You can do advanced analytics. You can access thousands of R, Python, and MATLAB packages. You can connect to live custom data sets. Why it sucks? Because there is no security for Python, so you can't even say, can't even set a username and password for this server. So can you use it in production? Obviously no, but I'm sure Tableau will finish it or fix it and polish it pretty soon. So for testing out stuff, this is cool. For doing this kind of things, when if you can give up some security and compliance related requirements, that's the perfect. And configuration requires some tech skills. And again, so what, as you see, anytime when I open the dashboard, it forgets the configuration. So it probably I'm the only user, so maybe I will just raise some tickets, and if you're starting to use them, it will, you know, Tableau maybe focusing more on this. But I think this is cool. That's the only way to add live data sources. So the other new feature, this Tableau extension, I think this will be very huge this year. This was presented during the TC conference. It's obviously, I mean, it's right now in off our beta stage. This will be not part of 10.5, but it will come out with 10.6 somewhere in Q2, but I'm not a Tableau employee, so I have no idea. That's my sixth sense. So it will be out pretty soon. And what it can do is you can build plugins. And those plugins could work in desktop and in server too. And when I'm saying plugins, those plugins can process your data. It can be a custom visualization. It can be a custom filter. If you always wanted to do some very nice Sankey or Sunburst chart for, I don't know why, now you can just drag and drop the chart and it will work out of the box. If you wanted to have some more well-looking date picker, then you can have a nice date picker. So this whole extension API is to make Tableau open, and they are really giving up for them vision. So Tableau were really famous to concentrate on the best practices. Fortunately, this extension API allows anyone to bypass those best practices and create as much crap as possible. And my users are just love it because you can do really anything. Let me show a couple of examples, like the very basic extension. That's the first what I did. For that, I have to do something. And this was the refresh, right? So if I start my nice desktop here, if I open a dashboard, I have a new pane here in the dashboard pane called extensions, and that's where my installed plugins are available. If I want to create like an auto refresh feature because I want to monitor something like, I don't know, some changing live data in some production in a shop floor, I just drag and drop this auto refresh component, and in every 10 seconds it will refresh the contents of my dashboard. Obviously, here there is not too many things which could be refreshed, unfortunately, but you can see the glitches every 10 seconds, so it does actually something. But if I add some random numbers, then you can see that it's really recalculated. So this is how you should just imagine the things. You have some nice widgets here. You drag the widgets here, and it will just communicate with your Tableau dashboard. Let me show something more useful, or at least something which can easily demonstrate it, like my static refreshing dashboard. This is like, what should be the next? Maybe the brush filter. So as I just told you, the date filtering in Tableau is not that advanced. So why don't we create a new one? So I just drag my brush filter here. Resize it. I can set that the X field should be the order date, and the measure should be like the sales. And now I have a brush filter just like in every Google product, and I can do filtering. This is also the original version came from Chris De Martini, and I just rewrite it as an extension. So this date filter just looks way better than what Tableau has. That one. It's very easy to compare. My expectation that we will have these tons of plugins like this, which could really make your dashboards very unique and different from the others. The Sankey chart. Let me show that one. I don't know how, but yeah. Yeah, I have. Why? Let me check if I can find this. Yeah. So this is my dashboard, and I will just drag and drop this guy here. And if I click here, then BATUG maybe. Yeah. So again, I'm not an artist, but still, this is a Sankey chart without any mathematics, without doing anything advanced. It was just a drag and drop. And it's there, it's ugly, but it's ours. Okay, let me show one of my favorites. So with these extensions, you can also call external services. And I have one of my favorite service here. Maybe I can show this. It's an association API. So when I send like a word to this web service, I can get the association. So for sound, noise, loud, voice, ringing, it will give back association and the weight of these associations. So it's like getting synonyms or associations for a word. This is a web service publicly available. For that, in matter of minutes, I was able to build a filter for my dashboard when I don't have to filter exactly for that name. I can just filter for an association. Let me quickly show that, how that works. So let's say if you have in your dashboard chairs, you can filter for seat, and it will filter also that word, which also improves the user interaction experience, I would say. I would never use that filtering, but maybe someone will, and I think it's cool. So it's the association, and obviously I don't have a start script here. I hope I documented for myself what to do. Yes, I did. So let me show something very basic, then something advanced. So where is my Excel? Here. So it says it's top 1,000 word, but actually it's just the top 20 because, you know, I want to have something pretty fast. So let me just quickly show like a few words. I don't know if you can read it, and create a dashboard. Put the sheet here, put my associative filter there. Let's select the sheet where I want to filter. And I have here the chair. So I should try seat maybe. Doesn't work. No, it works. Yeah. I just have to click on the query. So this is how it works. Also, we have here ill. I can try sick. Yeah. Please work. Yeah, ill. So that's probably not my best demo of my life. But from 4 times, it did work twice. So if I would try 5 times and it will work again, statistically, it's more than half. I will not try it actually, but still, it calls that web service, and again, you can build filters using some advanced machine learning, text mining, and stuff, and it also can improve the interaction of your dashboards. Yeah, I mean, let me show something. I just prepared. I don't have the dashboard, but this is something what my colleagues did. So when you search for college in tweets of the 2 nominees, then it says that university, education, all of these are which are tweeted more. So you just search one word and it filtered all the associations. And here you were able to just fine tune how broad or narrow should be the association. So when I filter it down, only the college, tuition, and only, it's just returned with fewer association. I think it's cool. And the last one, I think that's the last, I hope, it's pagination. So I heard so many times that, can you do pagination or animation on server? And usually the answer was, no, we cannot. I mean, obviously I say always yes, because we can do it, but most of the world's population probably say no for this kind of question. So how can pagination work on server? It's the same stuff. You can create an extension and just load it. We're running out of the time. It was too much examples, so let's just speed things up. So I think it was fun, at least for me. I love these things. I hope you do. If not, then I'm sorry, but that's life. So then nothing could be always fun. But you know, can it export Excel? This is maybe the most. I mean, I know users. I don't like them, but I know some who really into this Excel export stuff. So it cannot, obviously not, because there is also like a bug and feature request for Tableau that there is no cross-tab API in this extension API, so it obviously cannot do Excel. But we have a solution, obviously, so we can do Excel with extension. I'm not really proud of that, but let me just show, because I actually am proud. This is, one of our most widely used stuff. Excel download. What a naming conversion. Here you can have just a nice button, generate cross-tab data. Actually, it's not generating cross-tab data, it generates an Excel. And based on the sheets of the dashboard, you can have a multi-sheet. Every view on the dashboard should have a sheet here, and you can do even your own formatting, headers. It's like as it should be. Unfortunately, this is not part of the API, but there is always some solutions. And for those evil people who are still thinking about in Excel, there is still some hope for the future. So this is the way how we call this BDC hack. So our solution knows more than the extensions, and it's also documented, but still extension is the future. So be prepared for all these interesting new plugins. There will be a lot of interesting stuff in the Tableau world. Thank you very much. That was it. I hope you find at least one or two interesting use cases. And now, Anya.
And again, email him. And we're recording it, so we'll send out a link to the recording. So if you all want to get screenshots of his code. And you're also going to be sending out the code as well, or a link where the code is on Git. So you'll be able to access it. That'll be helpful. We can take a 5-minute break if people just want to grab pizza and another beer and go potty. And then in 5 minutes, we'll start with Allan Walker doing Mapbox fabulousness. Yeah? Thank you.
He's not looking at all. That's what I think. He's really enjoying it. I'm gonna text your pictures. Do you know? She's just like. I thought you were going to Yes. Yeah, I think you put a picture. I think it's just a picture.
Did you turn the microphone? Still on? Still on?
Yeah.
Oh.
I've been looking for years.
And then
All good? You all good, Allan? Have fun. Hey, we're gonna get started again. Hopefully everyone got a chance to grab a cocktail. Woo! Hopefully everyone got a chance to grab a cocktail. We're gonna get started again. You could do the kindergarten thing. 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. Everyone crisscross applesauce. All right, without further ado, we have another Tableau Zen Master, Allan Walker. He now just started working for Mapbox in December, and he's gonna show you some really wonderful ways to integrate Mapbox and Tableau.
hello, good evening. My name's Allan Walker. I'm now an engineer at Mapbox, and I couldn't be happier. What am I here to do today, tonight? To kind of explain couple of things. One, where Mapbox is with Tableau and what we're doing and what we're trying to achieve. And the first thing is even deeper integration with the Tableau product. What we're going to do is, on the right-hand side, you see Flatland, which is what Tableau is. Very two-dimensional, raster-based, really slow, clunky, blah, blah, blah. And on the left-hand side, we have Mapbox GL, which is using WebGL, so you get nice vector tiles, and it's super fast. And in fact, it's so fast, Tableau can't keep up, and I'll show you that in a minute. But the point is, we're a location analytics company, and we're all about location data, and that's the where. And what we're trying to do is to bring our knowledge and our software and our tools to not only the Tableau tool, but the Tableau customers as well. And we think we've got some really nice advantages that we can bring to the party so that everybody in the room and everybody in the Tableau community and anybody else that's using the Tableau platform can benefit from it. So I think it was Monday morning, or maybe the week past Monday. My days kind of go pretty fast. Eva Murray from Exasol got on the blower with me and said, we want to do something super cool with Mapbox, and we want to do this Zillow data set, which is 165 million rows of data. We want to see it all. Show us what you can do. And I haven't finished yet, but I'm just going to show you a little bit of what we can do. So on the left-hand side, you have the world and clearly America, and you have the national trend. This is so boring, by the way. It's mind-crashingly boring stuff, right? Oh my God, what happened? Hey! Sorry, mind-crashingly boring. So we have, we have some metrics from the Zillow data set, which you also at IronViz if you went to Las Vegas. And these are all the national level, right? So it's like, yay, some spark lines, woohoo! And then what I do is I kind of zoom into the state, and there you go, all the Viz dashboards will start updating, and we're actually connecting live to a server, an Exasol server for the data in Germany right now. And these are being streamed by the Tableau server in Germany. And this thing is coming from Amazon S3, so we're starting to crank now. And on our side, we've got some event listeners here, so I can click on Montana, and you can see, oh look, you've clicked on Montana, and then the next step, of course, is to filter all these visualizations to say, just show me the line that means Montana. And then I thought, okay, let's go in a bit more. And here's the metropolitan statistical areas. So if you're into stats and cities, I suppose this kind of makes sense to you. But the US Census is like crazy. They have all these levels of like levels of detail for population and how they calculate them. And the geography, the number of features for this, I mean, I've just in one state here, I think, and well, maybe not. This is Illinois, and here's Nebraska, and here's Kansas. So I'm talking out of my arse, but there we go. But you can see we're starting to get a little bit heavy on the number of marks and the number of points that we're trying to generate. I don't know how many MSAs there are, maybe 65,000, but this thing goes for 20 years. And you're starting to get quite a lot of curves. Let's go counties. So we're in San Francisco County right now, and there's an awful lot of counties. Oh, Exasol, are you going to keep up with me? Yes, there you go. So this thing's rendering about 12 million points. This thing's rendering 25 million points. This thing's rendering 3 lines, but there's an awful lot of points. And every single county is in this thing. And then I can go to individual cities. And this is bonkers. So this thing is 165 million rows when it eventually renders. This thing is 165 million rows because it's just another metric. And so on and so on and so on. But it's absolutely nuts. I mean, this thing, and my point being is, what we've done is, Tableau can't do this, right? Tableau, you can't drill into things when I zoom in a map, right? Or you zoom out on a map. So what I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, let's use my thing in GL Mapbox, which returns me a map zoom level. And then a little bit of jQuery show and hide to say, if I'm at this level of zoom, show these dashboards. If I'm at this level of zoom, show these dashboards. And then I just make it look pretty. And that's kind of it. But the really cool thing is, because we've got all these features at every single level, we can say, well, I've clicked on Mitchell, but I also know Mitchell is in this state. I know it's in this county. I know it's in potentially this MSA. So all I need to do is send those values to the Tableau server, and then this thing will start filtering. And then you'll only get the lines for only all of these cities, potentially. So it's kind of fast already. You can start using JavaScript. Sorry, it's code. To do this kind of crazy stuff. But that's Flatland, right? Still 2D. Who cares? Not that super cool. Let's do Command Shift. I got taught this by the Hungarians, so I don't know what's going to happen. Ah, Flatland, right, here we go. So let's do this, and then Command Shift F. Nope, Command Shift F. Huh? The menu, okay, let's do View. Huh? Click on this. Oh, this? It's not Tableau. I'm not stupid enough to use Tableau for this sort of stuff. No, it's all right. Anyway, so what we have here is a very pretty map of New York City. This is obviously Manhattan, and you know we can do things like scroll up and down just like you can in a Tableau map, and that's fabulous. But we're not really escaping the flatland here. So what I like to do is to kind of show off a little bit. I'm going to put my microphone down because I need to use two hands. Let's do. Oh no. Yeah, it's okay. There we go. Woohoo! So Mapbox GL has this pan, tilt, zoom sort of thing, and I'm into lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of data, not just big data. This is absolutely gigantic data, right? So what this is LiDAR. This is laser. An aircraft flies over, a laser comes down, points the ground, hits something, and calculates the distance. So what I do is I turn all these millions and millions of points into little triangles, and then I extrude them, and you get something really pretty like this. And it's great and very useful, but you're like going, oh, I thought this is guys like the Tableau guy. Well, I am a Tableau guy still. So what I've done is I've built this little tool and like a tooltip thing. And then what I do is I can click on the chart and come on charts. Let's not do this one. Let's maybe do another one. Come on. It's so hard doing this with like one finger. Oh my God. There you go. So we've actually got some charts on the left-hand side. Now, this might seem a little bit small, and it's like a spark line with 5 marks. However, if you see the grain of data, what it's doing, it's actually going to the individual census block, which is the smallest US level of data. And what it's returning is all of the metrics for total population, for the males, for the females, and income. There's 1.6 billion rows of data that this thing has actually taken. Oh, I just want this individual block. So I'm able to parameterize that data and return those 4 metrics over 1.6 billion rows. Oh, and by the way, that's not using Tableau, TDE, or Hyper at all. That data is held in the Mapbox cloud. because what I'm doing is I'm saying, give me that block, return the data that's sitting in that tile. There's no data set in Tableau at all. There's no extract, no hyper, no XSOL, no SQL Server. The data's in the tile set, and I'm pointing to the other tile set. So it's kind of useful. And of course, me being me, I like a little bit of flash when I do things. I hope this works. Oh God, dude, really? Let's try this one. Do you have volume on here? You do? Could we turn up the volume so we could maybe hear it speak?
1938, and the nearest census block identification number is 360,610,021,000.
Ta-da! And the best thing about it is that's completely dynamic, so I can go to any build. Oh no! Come on! I can go to any building. Come on, there you go, and it will do exactly the same thing for that building.
The ground elevation in feet. 6 and in meters to the year of the building's construction was 0, and the nearest census block identification number is 360,610,002.
So what's my point? I think you know, for the longest time we've been used to these two-dimensional maps in Tableau, and we've been used to being constrained by the data and the performance, and everything's slow. However, with a little bit of effort, and I really am not that big a programmer, we can put this kind of open data. This data's open data. It's like I downloaded it. I don't have access to any sort of proprietary data. You put it together in the right way. You get Mapbox to talk to Tableau. You get Tableau to talk back to Mapbox, and you end up being able to finally escape flatland. So that's my little presentation for tonight.
Thank you, Alan and Tamas. So we wanted to have Q&A. If anyone had questions for Tamas, Alan, get another beer and get back up here. Tamas, any? You have to. You're not off the hook yet, man. Do you need another beer? Number 4? No. Okay. Do we have any questions? No one.
I don't know, this is maybe overly specific question about Mapbox, but do you guys ever use the tax assessor parcel data layer? Like if you're doing Zillow.
Parcel data layer from the state. I have tried to import it a long time ago when I was living in Utah, because in Utah the building layer isn't complete at all. Whereas in San Francisco, obviously, everything in the buildings there. In Utah, there's very little of those building details in OpenStreetMap, but the federal government, you know, maybe the state actually has to produce the GIS components for the tax parcels, and I have had a look at that, and it's actually an awful big data set for the whole of Utah.
It's disgusting data. I just wondered if you guys had done anything with it.
Not personally.
Okay.
Not personally. I've tried the Utah one, but definitely not California.
Yeah. Okay. That was. I was just.
Anyone else? Questions?
Can you guys work on a plugin that inserts that 3D map?
The extensions.
So Tamas and I
I don't think this is hacking, but I have two clients that want to do, it's geospatial data where they're doing zip codes, but then wanting to put specific addresses on top of that. So it's two layers. Can someone like post that somewhere, how to do it? I know it can be done, I imagine. So no, you'll have an area, a zip code, and you want to show that whole area, highlight it, and then on top of that, you're going to show specific addresses. So basically, real estate that's within a certain zip code.
Yes, is the answer. There's a couple of ways. So the question I have is, do you need the zip code to be so if you interactive? So if you click on the zip code, do you want to return every single address in that, or do you want to filter the address? Oh, sure. If you have the addresses and you have the zips, absolutely, and we can just put that in a background map. My question would be, what is it you'd want to do with it? Like, what would be the query? Yeah.
You could also leverage the map on distance calculations to be able to say knock everything out that's within a certain drive time distance, not necessarily personal distance. Yeah.
Reduce the reference layer.
Well, I do have to map that out, but it's two layers. So it's that whole area, and then within that area, it's actually.
Right.
We have one plot of the code, and then you just duplicate one layer.
Yeah. So, yeah. So one other thought here. It sounds like there's two different visualization types. But I'm Ryan from Mapbox. Hi, everyone. It might have two different visualization layers that you want in there. You have the map background, and then you have more of like a filler chlorophyll layer, and then a point or a circle layer, a graduated circle type visualization. Yeah, so you could do this in a lot of different ways. One way is to drop in like a shapefile layer through the Tableau spatial data connector, and then you could also put it in a circle layer on top, and you might have to do some mixed axis thing to drop those two things on top of each other. Another way, using the Mapbox functionality that's in Tableau today, is you could upload that same shape boundary file to Mapbox on your Mapbox Studio account, and then create a style with that would have those boundaries in it, and then just add that to your Tableau dashboard and use that as the background reference, and then only have to plot the address points with whatever visualization type you'd want on top. Yeah, and pretty much any shapefile, any shape format that you have, it's supported. Yeah. From there, it's just a map layer that you can add to your visualization. Yep.
The style for Mapbox will not be
Correct.
No, it's just static in the background, unless you do the JavaScript integration.
But if you put the zip code in the same row as the address, it will actually filter to that shape. You're just not going to get you're not going to be able to click on the map and say this is it. This is zip code blah.
Actually, like we were doing in a visualized middle area work in Zamfrino, where we had facility catchment areas as one shape file, and then buildings that were the facilities and where the health workers were as another shape file. We unioned them together in Tableau. We still had a gorgeous satellite box mapped in the background, but we took those two different layers, unioned them together, and then added a level, so you could have one in the back. You could actually have the dual access, like someone mentioned, and have both those layers. So we can certainly like point you in the direction to, yeah. Okay.
because you have to resolve that in Tableau with the dual access. But
Mhm.
is there any way for Mapbox to actually render all the layers?
Oh, you can render as many layers as you want. You could do.
In a way like high where I actually
Mm-hmm.
and set the parameters of the dimension that I want to plot it in, and they're just rendered in
Yeah.
trying to limit was two.
Yeah, yeah. Correct.
Here's just a quick example of using just Mapbox technology. Just a quick example. The question was, can you make multiple visualization layers in Mapbox? And the answer is absolutely. You can make an infinite number, however many you'd like. You can control them based on anything that you want, including zoom level or data properties. So here's just one quick example that would be similar to what you might want to make in a Tableau dashboard, where you have a kind of progressive drill down based on your user's zoom level. So let's say I'm looking at the state level here when I'm at, zoomed out to the entire country. But when I select, I want to see the per patient hospital spend in California, I can now go down to the next visualization layer, which shows me the county level detail. And then I'd say I want to figure out what's going on in this county here. And now I can see the individual hospital layers as circles, and I can click on that. And if I had more detail in my data set, I could keep going down one level. You can go as many levels as you can imagine, different visualization types as you can imagine with Mapbox.
Background in Tableau.
Yes.
Or you can just do like crop ton of layers union together in
Yeah.
Tableau.
And this is just a studio style that I have here that I'm opened up in a web page. So this will actually look pretty much the same if you were to drop this in as a style to your Mapbox map, and then you'd put the interactive Tableau marks on top of that. Yeah.
There's so many options. Anyone else? No? Oh,
This is a question for Thomas. So about APIs, how would you compare Tableau APIs to Power BI?
he is monetarily tool agnostic. Mapbox versus Power BI too.
We do not play favorites. No, not at all.
Really, I mean, this is a Tableau meetup, so I mean, frankly, so Power BI did this whole plugin stuff way before, so it's out, so you can have so many custom visualization for your Power BI already, and now Tableau is getting up to speed. That's what happens.
Tableau's catching up.
Tableau has a lot of good other APIs and features. Yeah, but for that particular extension API, yes. Don't do this for me next time, please.
Hi, you showed that, and I guess it was an extension, the refresh, like the frequency, the time it takes to refresh. What if you wanted to do like a live update of something that come in? If I want to monitor something in Tableau, would there be something like that that you?
Like, I don't know, one electric car company is actually using this for their shop floor analytics. So every minute they refresh the dashboard and they put it on large LCD screens. So this is exactly for live reporting. So after the refresh happens, it goes to the underlying database and fetch the data. So that's for that.
Or you could just buy a little stick that hits the F5 button.
Yeah. Any other questions? If no, then we can drink. Okay, there is a question.
Question about, you mentioned the census data and the Mapbox. Have you done a data pool at that level, or do you have a connection? How is that?
All the juicy data in Mapbox.
So I'm going to let Ryan answer this one because he has a thing called administrative districts that is probably worth his time showing you because it's quite amazing.
And you've already seen them. That's actually what we have a new visualization type up here. Let me go back here. This is actually what Allan was talking about right here on this screen. This is just showing administrative boundaries in the United States, but we have these for the whole world, all the way down to counties, districts, postcodes all over the globe. But at the end of the day, how does this work when you are, quote unquote, connecting to the Mapbox API? What's really happening is we are storing map data as tiles. And in particular, we're storing them as vector tiles. All that means is that you can basically grab geometry from a table that's not in your database via an API. So it's like the web data connector in Tableau that can get geometry information that you can then make into a map. And on that API, which we have available for enterprise customers, you can basically just pick an area that you want to map. A fun one here is France. And I got to get the ISO code for France here correct. At administrative level 5. So this is a really high level of detail. This is all the way down to, I don't even know what these individual regions are called. They're so small. Let me zoom in here just a little bit more so we can see this. There we are. Right. So all of these regions here in Paris are coming through the Rhône-Sois-Bois. I'm going to go for that. My French is non-existent. So, but how this is actually working here is that on Mapbox, we have all of these geometries stored as vector tile features that can be retrieved just like they're a table with geometry and a unique identifier. So you can essentially do like an inner join between your data and a polygon to make a fill map or do an analysis on that particular polygon. And that's what's going on here in my web browser, but it works in a very similar way when you would potentially make an extension with Tableau. It is that we have an extract essentially from lots of different data sources, including census. Yeah. Hi, yes. Oh, yeah, great question. So all Mapbox GL technology is about client-side rendering. So that means that, for example, if I wanted to change this from yellow to green, instead of that bluish hint that I have here right now, I'm just stealing all my colors from Color Brewer. I'm not actually much of a data designer at all. Let's go back in here. Now it's a different color. So this is all being rendered completely in my browser. And each frame that I pan or zoom, the render can actually change. And that's why I can do things like, hey, I really, really want to figure out what's going on here. I can actually click on that. And now it's like transitioning and fading for the particular feature that I selected. So everything's rendered client side. And this is using our web SDK, but we have the equivalent on every other platform that you might want to make an application on. We have an Android SDK, an iOS SDK, React Native SDK, Qt SDK, and more. So client side.
Thank you all for coming.